Right, can we all hear me? If you can hear me, just type a yes in the chat. Type a yes in the chat if you can hear me, and then we'll start. Okay, thank you very much for that, Mohammed, Rita, Olutayo, Siayo. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, great. Thank you very much for that. So in order to maintain decorum um, throughout the session, right, let's ensure that we keep our microphones muted and our videos, turned off as well. All right, so we'll not have any distractions in today's session. So welcome once again. My name is Mohammed Suleiman. I'm sure some of us have seen me before. If you've seen me before, just type a yes in the chat. Type a yes now in the chat. So I know I have some people who have seen me before. If you've seen me before, type a yes. If you've seen me before, then it means that you've been in our session at least once before. Okay, Kenny, I have a returning participant. Okay, Mohammed, no. Okay, fantastic. Okay, Olawale, fantastic. Welcome. So let me see your responses coming in. All right, let me see your responses while we continue with today's session. Okay, Rita says yes. All right. So quite a number of people have seen me before. Okay, no. All right. So in today's session, yeah, we are going to. Okay, what was the question? So, Bafemi, the question was whether you've seen me before. All right. So, but I know some of us are joining us for the first time. So, if you're also joining for the first time, um, type a one in the chat. So I know that you're joining us for the very first time. This is the first time you're hearing of Tenalytics. All right. So let me know. Okay. So I know. All right. For the first time. Okay. Fantastic. Oyewala, LSS, Kenny, first time. Great. It's good to have you, and I'm super duper excited to have you guys on board as well. So, and welcome to Tenalytics. So, in this particular session, all right, I'll be showing you exactly how you can, leverage AI tools for your productivity. Someone else is on mute. All right, so I've muted Aberi. All right, so let's continue. All right, so in today's session, I'll be showing you how I use ChatGPT as a data analyst. Right? So there is a lot of talks about AI is coming to replace um, tech professionals, and I've had discussions with so many people about this particular topic. AI is going to replace us. What will happen with the advent of ChatGPT? ChatGPT can do everything. All right, and we'll demystify that today. Okay, but first I'll show you exactly how to leverage ChatGPT as a data analyst. All right, then I'll talk more about what I just mentioned. But before we even go into that, for the benefit of those of us who are who are joining us for the first time, all right. So I'll go ahead and share my screen and tell you about Tenalytics. Okay, and I'll also still do a more elaborate introduction of myself. I'm going to be one of your facilitators for this particular session. All right, so once you can see my screen, just type a one in the chat. Type a one in the chat, and then we can set the ball rolling. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Alawale, Mohammed, Matthias, Rita. All right. So welcome to today's session. Once again, we are going to be leveraging ChatGPT as a data analyst. So I want you to imagine yourself working as a data analyst throughout today's session, right? And then you now see how we use tools like ChatGPT. I believe I'm assuming we've heard of ChatGPT before. You might not have seen me before. You might not have heard of Tenalytics before. But have you heard of ChatGPT? Or correct me if I'm wrong. I want to assume you've heard of ChatGPT before. But if you haven't, okay, yes, I have. Okay, yes. Type a yes if you have heard of ChatGPT before. Okay, Obafemi says both. Okay, yes, yes. Sandra. Okay, let's keep the responses coming. Okay, I'm looking for somebody who has not heard of ChatGPT. before today. We are close to 60 on the call. So are we saying 100% of everybody on the call has heard of ChatGPT? Okay. I think my assumption is correct. Okay, I have not. Ekimi Upot Epo. You have not heard of ChatGPT. Don't worry. Would use ChatGPT, would look at it. All right. We'll be shedding more light on, ChatGPT today. All right. We're shedding more light on ChatGPT today. I'll walk you through briefly how to open a ChatGPT account, a free account, and then we'll get to work with it. All right. Okay, we have some people who use it on a daily basis. All right, fantastic. So ChatGPT has been out you know, since OpenAI started about 2017. 2017, a group of people came together in a very small meeting and they decided to create something as great as ChatGPT. And in the year 2024, all right, in the year 2024, sorry, give me 1 second. In the year 2024, all right, in the year 2024, we are going to be, hearing a lot about AI. Be hearing a lot about AI, and ChatGPT is an AI tool, all right, which you as a data analyst, or you who is trying to get into the tech space, you need to start to get familiar with these things. I'll give you details, all right? Stay with me. I'll give you details as we proceed, all right? So for the benefit of those of us who have not heard of Tenalytics, Tenalytics is an edtech organization that is passionate about helping people of the Black community and Africans at large to get into the tech space. All right. And why are we particular about the Black people? The reason is simple. Like myself and so many other team members who have had the opportunity, I'm talking about Black team members who have had the opportunity to, work with in the tech space. All right. Um, And on the global front, what I noticed was that, or what we noticed was that when we get to work with, multinational organizations like Apple, like Microsoft, like Alfa Romeo, like Ferrari, and so on and so forth, you notice that I'm the only Black person in the room, or just a handful of us, if I'm not alone. So we are looking to change the narrative, right? We have a lot of Black people who travel out of their own country, they go abroad, to see better opportunities. But one of the things that is very common is that, and this is no disrespect to anybody, all right? So, but many of us go into the menial jobs, we settle for the menial jobs and believe that it's difficult to get, a tech job out there. And that's very untrue. And that's why we exist. Okay. So we seek to lower the entry barrier for people of the Black community to make it easier, much easier for them to make that switch. So we exist to take you right from ground zero into landing your first tech job. And we've done this for, quite a lot of people, all right, and counting. Close to 9,000 people have been able to make that switch through Analytics, and that's why we exist, all right? So, and we offer courses around data analytics, business analysis, data science, HR analytics, financial analytics, and data engineering. All right, data engineering. So, and you get to work with, facilitators, okay, who would bring on board their own experience. All right, they'll bring it on board, and you get to learn from their experience. And this is where we are, different from so many other platforms, and even universities, where you get to learn just the theoretical part, and you do not do, you don't get to experience what the real job is like. All right, so you get to work with these facilitators where they'll bring on board their experience. Facilitators from, like myself, I've worked with Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is um, one of the largest luxury car brands based in Italy. There used to be a sister organization with Ferrari up until 2016. when Alfa Romeo now became a standalone organization themselves. All right. So, and this is just one person. And we have so many other facilitators in-house. Some of them have worked with Apple. Some of them are working with Microsoft, McKinsey, Amazon, and the list goes on and on. And again, like I said, it's not the mundane pattern of learning you're going to be experiencing here. It's going to be hands-on, and you'll be working on real-world projects from the experience, right, and direct from the experience of your facilitator. All right. And we have Adeza Suleiman. Adeza Suleiman is the founder of Analytics. All right. He's the founder of Analytics. He's a data analytics expert. All right. And also a data science consultant in the UK. All right, and he's worked cutting across three different sectors, including sports, including oil and gas, as well as the energy sector. All right, he's even worked with the automotive sector as well. So, and he's mentored and trained close to 9,000 participants till date and helped them, get tech jobs as well. So, one very interesting thing about Adeza, and like so many of us as well, and I'll get to talk about myself as well when we get to the slide. Adeza also transitioned from, um, he did chemistry, industrial chemistry, right? Industrial chemistry at the university level, right? So his background is industrial chemistry. So he was able to make that switch to become a data analyst, to become a tech professional. And that's why, he looked at it and looked at all the hurdles that he had to surmount to get into the tech space. And because of that experience, he designed data analytics to make it much, much easier for people of the Black community to get into the space. All right. He's a fantastic professional. Okay. And we also have Efemena Ikro. Efemena Ikro is the co-founder of Analytics. And one very fantastic thing about Efemena is that he has won all the hearts that you can find in the data space. He's worked as a data analyst, he's worked as a data engineer, he's worked as a data scientist, and the list goes on and on. He's worked as a Power Platform developer, and the list goes on. All right. He's worked as a BI engineer. All right. He's worked with the post office in the UK as the business data support lead. All right. And he has led many projects, many other projects, and also helped quite a good number of people to, get into the tech space. All right. But for today, you'll be having two, not just one, but two facilitators. All right. So you have the CMSO of Analytics is on board. He's with us, and he'll be speaking to us very shortly. We have the CMSO of Analytics with me here. All right. He's a fantastic professional. He's worked as a marketing data analyst himself. He's also, consulted across several different continents. All right, including countries like France, the US, the UK, Germany. He's also a certified professional, all right, from an institute in Ireland. So you get to talk, you get to speak with us. He's worked cutting across several different sectors himself. And then, you have myself as well. Okay, I'm senior data associate here at Analytics, and my job is very simple, right? I say it's very simple, and it is. It is helping people like you who are looking to get into the tech space, to help them have a very easy experience making that switch. All right. Not a lot of people find change easy. So my job is to make that change, that transition as easy as possible for you. All right, in simple terms. And I have close to, over half a decade of experience in the industry. I've worked as a data analyst and a data scientist myself. And, the tools you get to learn are the tools I use on my job. All right. And I've helped close to 2,000 participants, successfully make their switch into tech. And like I mentioned earlier, I've consulted for Alfa Romeo in the US. All right. Now, today, what we are going to be, before we even go into what we're going to be today, are we excited to have us? Are you excited to, for those of us who are meeting Analytics for the first time, are you excited to be on this platform? Are you excited to have us? Okay, Aberi. Only Aberi is excited. Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. Vivo, Bernard, okay, Firdaus, Blessing, Sandra. I want to see more responses. Okay, Treasure, um, Usiayo, Buffet, Kenny, Loretta, Rita. Okay, fantastic. Olabi. All right. Okay, keep your responses coming in. Okay, so today what we are going to be doing is very interesting. All right, it's very interesting. And I would want you to stay till the end of today's session. All right, it's going to be a very short session. We are going to, leverage ChatGPT, learn a lot, and then tell, Olawale would also show us some people who we've helped, to make that switch fast. All right, and even recently, this year alone, I've helped close to um, if my numbers are correct, I've helped close to 15 people to date from this year alone, and I started very early. All right, I started very early. This that was December 31st. So when everybody was celebrating the new year, I was with one of our participants helping them prepare for an interview that was coming up earlier this year, and she got the job. All right. So that's what I do. Like I said, my job is to make that switch, that transition, as easy as possible for you. Okay, myself, I had to switch from mechanical engineering. So I had a background in mechanical engineering, and I also made the switch just like you are trying to make that switch as well. And I'm super excited that you are excited to join us. So we have, you can see my colleague putting the attendance form in the chat. So please, while you're on the call, do well to fill it. It takes averagely about 2 minutes to fill. So ensure you fill in the attendance. All right, so you can get a recording of this session. So it's recorded. So it's recorded. All you need to do is fill in the form. You get the recording. All the materials including the data sets for today's session. All right. Now, what we'll be doing today, what we'll be doing today will cut across four areas, right? It's going to cut across four areas. Okay. Let's confirm. Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are we ready? Are we ready to go? So I'm going to tell you what the session is going to be like, and then we'll go into it. All right. Okay, fantastic. Okay, great, great. Now, what we are going to be doing today will cut across four different areas. Four different areas. All right. So the very first thing we would get to do today is we'll get to leverage ChatGPT. So go into the business today, learn how to use ChatGPT as a data analyst. All right. There are so many things that you can do with it. All right. You get to learn how to use ChatGPT as a data analyst, and then would also walk you through how to get started as a data analyst. All right. So we've been talking about, switching from one background to another career path, which is tech. Um, I spoke about Adeza, I spoke about myself, and so many other facilitators that we have, who have successfully made that switch, like you are seeking to. So we'll walk you through on how to get that done. Okay. And we'll then move into our upcoming cohorts starting 2nd of March 2024. All right. 2nd of March, we'll talk about that particular program that's starting in 2nd of March. And then we'll also show you, the success stories. So people who have been able to switch through analytics seamlessly. And, we'll also talk about the ongoing special discounts. All right. So stick to the end so that we can all benefit from that. So are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, fantastic. So a lot of people are ready. Right, a lot of people are ready. Okay, thank you very much for that. Okay, so let's roll it. Right now, I'll be sharing this data set with you. Give me a second. I'll share the data set with you. I'll share the link with you in the chat so you can download as well. All right, I believe you can see my screen. Okay, I believe you can see my screen. So I'll just put the data set in the chat. So that's the link to the data set. All right, that's the link to the data set. Okay, screen is visible. Fantastic. So that's the link to the data set. You want to download the data set. And I'll walk you through on how to download it. Just give me 1 second. All right. So once you are here, okay, once you click on the link I put in the chat, I'll put it again one more time. All right. So that's the link to the data set we'll be working with today. So I'll download a copy myself as well. So how to download it is very easy. All right. Once you click on the link, it opens this particular page. And all you have to do is to click on file. You click on file. All right. Click on file on the top left corner here. Click on file and you see download. You see download. All right. You see download. And all you need to do is to click on Microsoft Excel. You click on Microsoft Excel. All right. And that will download a copy for you. You can see supply chain returns 250, 224. All right. So that is how to download. You simply click on file, you see download, and you see Microsoft Excel. All you need to do is to click on Microsoft Excel, and that downloads a copy for you in the chat. All right. In your it's downloads a copy for you in your local drive. I beg your pardon. So once you've done this, all right, once you've done this, okay, the next thing for us to do is let's talk about ChatGPT a bit. Okay, let's talk about ChatGPT a bit. Okay, so I'll bring up my browser and show you, I'll walk you through on how to sign into ChatGPT. Right, just give me 1 second. All right, so open up your browser. Okay, open up your browser. Open up your browser. I want you to open up your browser. Guys, open up your browser if you want to work with me. Okay, if you're not working with me, fine. You just want to, enjoy the session, people come um, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Right? That's absolutely fine. But if you're working with me, you can pick up your browser, open up your browser and search for GPT, Chat GPT, Chat GPT, and hit enter. Chat GPT, search for Chat GPT. Okay, Chat GPT. All right. So once you click on Chat GPT, all right, you see Chat GPT, you see login. So simply click on the first link, Chat GPT. Okay. So Chat GPT, for those of us who have not used Chat GPT, it's an AI tool developed by OpenAI. OpenAI, um, is the organization that developed Chat GPT, and it's a large language model, okay, that acts like a professional in all fields that you can interact with, ask questions, and it gives you answers, right? It asks questions and it gives you um, answers. Okay, you can ask any question, all right? So because you can ask any question, it's also very useful in fields like data analytics, all right? Data analytics. And although today's session is, you leveraging ChatGPT as a data analyst, but I'll show you even more. All right, I'll show you even more things that you can do with ChatGPT, um, peculiar to you trying to get into the tech space. Right, very fantastic tool. I use it every day. All right. So when you get here, okay, all you need to do is to click on sign up. All right. If it is the first time you're using ChatGPT, all right, that's this is what you do. So you click on sign up, and all you need to do is to enter your details. All right, enter your email. So I can click on continue with Google. All right, continue with Google since my profile is already signed in here. All right, my email is already signed in on Google Chrome. So all I need to do is to click on continue with Google. All right, continue with Google, and I can click on this particular account. All right, Muhammad Suleiman 200T, and it says sign in to OpenAI. I'll click on continue. All right, I'll click on continue. Okay, just following the prompts. All right, I'll click on continue, and then it takes me here. Okay, so it's asking for my birthday. So I'll just input that months, asking for months, day, and yeah. So input that, click on agree, input that, click on agree, verify you're a human. So I can just begin puzzle. Okay, so it's going to ask you to face this particular object on the right to the direction the hand is pointing to. So I can just adjust it, click on submit. Um, it's going to bring up another one. I'll adjust it as well until it faces the same direction and click on submit. Right? And it's all done, verification complete. And then it's going to take me to ChatGPT. All right, takes me to ChatGPT. Okay, ChatGPT. All right, and this is just the landing page. I'll just click on OK, let's go. All right, and you get to this interface. So if you have something like this on your screen as well, let me know. Let me know. You have something like this on your screen as well. Type a yes in the type a yes in the chat. Have ChatGPT on. Okay, whether it's in for the first time or you've been using it before today, type a yes in the chat. All right. Okay, so if you are just joining us, you have no issues because I noticed persons just joined us. So if you are just joining us, so all you need to do is fill in the attendance form, fill in the attendance form that is in the chat, and ensure that you put in your details so that we can provide the recording of this session and all the materials we'll be using today as well, including the slide I was presenting, right? So ensure you fill in the attendance form. My colleague will put in the attendance form in the chat. So please do fill it. It takes only about 2 minutes to get it done. So this is ChatGPT, right? And as you can see, it says, "How can I help you today? How can I help you today?" Encouraging you to ask any question you want to ask. All right. Okay, fantastic. Ara Oluwamide. So ensure you fill in the attendance form so that you get everything that you need for today's session. Right now, how can you help? How can I help you today? How can I help you today? Encouraging you to ask, and you can ask a variety of questions. All right. You can say, tell me a fun fact, recommend a dish, show me a code snippet, create a personal web page for me. All right. So you can literally ask any question that you want to ask. All right. And ChatGPT gives you an answer. Now, a very big disclaimer, not everything ChatGPT gives you is correct. All right. You can see something at the bottom here. I don't know if you can see it. Can we all see the bottom of my screen where my mouse is? Can you see this? Yeah, so if you just joined, like I said, you'd get all the recordings in as much as you fill in the attendance form. So do well to fill it in. My team members are putting it in chat to ensure that you fill in the form so that you don't miss out on the recordings and the slides that are I've used in this session. So I've also kept the link to the data set we're using today in the slide. I kept it in the slide. So you once you fill in the once you fill in the form. All right. So you can see, fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Laurie. So I was asking, can we all see what is at the bottom of my screen? Can you see that? It's written very subtly here. Is it only Laurie that can see it? Okay, yes, yes, you can. Okay, fantastic. So you notice that it says ChatGPT can make mistakes. Consider checking important information. So it means that you will take everything ChatGPT gives you, hook, line, and sinker. Ensure that you also verify, you do your research, all that. All right. So you can say something like, about, tell me about data. So you can be polite as well. You can say, hi, tell me about data. Okay, tell me about data. Okay, and it's going to give you a breakdown of what data is. Right? It's going to give you a breakdown. It says certainly data refers to raw facts, figures, or information, typically in the form of numbers, text, images, or any other format. Data can be collected and stored for various purposes, and it serves as a foundation for generating knowledge and making informed decision. All right. And it didn't stop there. Okay. There are two main types of data, qualitative and quantitative data. And it talked about what they mean. So qualitative data is usually in a nutshell, qualitative data is non-numeric. Okay, talk of text, talk of colors, opinions. So any data that is not text is what we call qualitative data. And quantitative data, like you may guess, let me throw it to you. What do you think quantitative data means? If qualitative data is a non-numeric data type, how about quantitative data? I know you can read my screen. I know you can read my screen, but I want you to, just your own opinion. What do you think? Felix, fantastic. Numeric. All right. So quantitative data is exactly hands, numbers and figures. All right. It didn't stop there. It also went further to explain. Okay, data can also be categorized into various forms: structured data, big data, time series data, spatial data, so on and so forth. All right. So this is just Chat GPT, right? We are warming up Chat GPT, and there are so many other things that you can use Chat GPT for, right? Okay, one plus KB 2003. Ensure that you fill in the attendance form, so that you don't suffer two ways. Okay, your network is going on and off, so ensure you fill in the form when you can, so that you can get the recording and all the materials with today's session, including the data set and the slides. Now, let's open the data set we downloaded. All right, let's open the data set we downloaded. So I'll just go to my downloads and open the data. All right, I'll open the data sets. Okay, the one you just downloaded. Open up the data sets. Okay, one plus, that's great. All right. Are we following? The responses are very low. Are we following me? Are we following? I'm opening up the data set. All right, fantastic. Okay, great. So Laurie, you speak French? You speak French. That's nice. All right, fantastic. Okay, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Okay, great. Yes, we are with you each step. All right, that's good to know. So once you open up the data, okay, once you open up the data, I'll just enable editing. All right, so let's talk a bit about this particular data set. All right, before we go ahead. All right, now I've opened up the data in Excel. Mind you, I'm using Excel. Okay, I'm using Microsoft Excel. All right. Okay, yes, but trying to comprehend since I came late. Okay, no worries. Just hang on. Okay, what we are trying to do is we have a data set in front of us, and as a data analyst, we've been charged with the responsibility of bringing out insights from this data. All right. But rather than sitting down to brainstorm on what questions we can ask what questions we can answer using these data sets, we want to, leverage ChatGPT, all right? Not just to increase our efficiency, but to also boost the quality of our output. And you see what I'm talking about in a bit. You see what I'm talking about in a bit. And you'll also be learning a few things about Excel because we're going to be using Excel to analyze the data. All right. So if you look here, you'd see driver ID. So this is a supply chain returns data, right? It's a supply chain returns data. So you have organizations engaged in supply chain. For those of us who don't know what supply chain is, it's simply the movement of, either raw materials or finished goods. In this case, finished goods. All right. So each time a good, goods are delivered to customers, there is a possibility that these goods are returned, okay, due to one reason or the other. All right, due to one reason or the other. So many organizations, including this particular organization that we are working with today, all right, they keep record of each of these returns so that they can study it, analyze it, and map out strategies to mitigate this, this return. So you want to reduce your returns as much as possible. Returns are lost revenue. Okay, lost revenue. It will count as lost revenue. So you want to stop that. All right. And you, as a data analyst, if you can go into an organization and significantly stop their returns due to your insights, you'll be very valuable to the team. All right. And that's one of the things you can do with your skills as a data analyst. So if you look here, you see you have driver ID, which is the unique identifier for a driver, right? So we have the driver name. So you have what we call the company name and the company ID. Now, these drivers drive for specific logistics companies, all right? So these companies um, are, for example, you can see Galco, Stubbing, Jolts, FedEx, and so on and so forth. So what happens typically is, say for example, you work with an organization like in the FMCG. Say you work with Nestle, for example, right? Nestle distributes products to customers all over all over the world. All right, they have operations in several different countries, and in each of these countries, they manage their logistics. Now, what they do is rather than Nestle itself owning the vehicles that operate, you have logistics partners that provide vehicles and in some cases drivers to operate the vehicles on behalf of Nestle. All right, so that's the partnership that works, and it's done most times to shift the risk to um, to the second man. All right. So that the company does not bear all the risk. All right. So these are the companies as we have spoken of. So these are the partners, right, of the main organization itself. So the date the return happened is also recorded. You can see the format. I don't think any one of us can read this. If I ask you what date is this, you may likely not know. All right. So would address that as well. Then you have return complaints. Return complaints, this is simply the reason why um, a particular return happened. All right, the product ID, the product that was returned, how many of the products were returned, the unit price, the amount, which is the total amount when you consider the unit price and the quantity. All right, so if six units were returned, okay, if 6 units were returned, um, and one cost $5, let's say for example, how much will everything cost? That's where amount comes in. And then the organization also categorizes each return into two different risk categories, low risk and high risk. Somebody's asking, or later is asking, why is driver ID a unique identifier? So when you go to the bank, okay, your name is Olutayo Dare Tunde Awe. Fantastic. Have you ever seen anybody that bears your name the exact same way, Olutayo? Most likely not. Okay, most likely not. But I'll give you a very good example. Nope, exactly. So your name itself looks like a unique identifier. All right. But look at my name. My name is Mohammed Suleiman. We have tons and tons of Nigerians bearing the same name. A lot of Pakistanis, a lot of Iranians bear the same name, Mohammed Suleiman. Just go on LinkedIn and type Mohammed Suleiman, right? Go to Facebook, type Mohammed Suleiman. You would likely not see my face, all right? So in such a scenario where Imagine all these Mohammed Suleimans want to open a bank account with FCMB, or I don't know why FCMB came to mind. Let's say First Bank, for example, or any bank. Wise, you want to open a bank account with Wise. How can the bank tell me apart from another Mohammed Suleiman? How do you think they can do that, Utayo? Just type it in the chat, just summarize. How do you think they can do that? So you have two people bearing the exact same name, although they are two different people. How can you tell them apart? Fantastic. You give them an account number. Okay. So no two persons in that bank would have the same account number. Fantastic, guys. So you'd see the bank giving people account number, regardless of what their name is. And the account number does one thing. It ensures that you are identified. So every other information attached to your account number can be pulled out once your account number is known. Okay, so your account number is the unique identifier. So if you look, let's come back to this data set in front of me now. So if you have um, a case where you have two drivers bearing the same name, the unique identifier will tell them apart. Do you understand? Yeah, so Firdaus is saying just like your matric number. So yeah, exactly. So how do you tell people apart? So you give them a unique identifier. Okay, and it's usually sometimes fully numeric, in some cases alphanumeric, like what you have here. When I say alphanumeric, combination of letters and numbers. So let's go ahead, right? So now when you look at this particular data set, right? You look at this particular data set, you want to ask, okay, what questions can you ask from the data? All right, what questions can you ask from the data? So in some cases, when you get to work with organizations, you are just exposed to the data set and you're not really told what to do. As a data analyst, you must be very creative. That's one thing that you need to develop, creativity. You must be creative. So, but in such cases, which I have also experienced in the past, right? Even till now, I still experience it with some, very complex projects and data sets. All right, you cannot easily come up with ideas. So, and this is where ChatGPT comes in. All right, this is where ChatGPT comes in. All right, so you can prep ChatGPT, right? You can prep ChatGPT, okay? And you'd copy this data, copy the headers of the data set. So I highlighted the headers, hold and drag it to the right to copy, Control C to copy. So I'll copy it and provide it to ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, look, I have the data set that has so and so headers. I'll provide it with the headers and say, um, tell me 5 questions that I can answer using these data sets, right? What are 5 questions that I can answer using these data sets? All right. So copy the data headers. When I say headers, you can see just the column headers of the data set and open up ChatGPT. All right. Open up ChatGPT. Open up ChatGPT. So when you open up ChatGPT, right, all you need to do, let's open a new chat, and you can see this icon here says new chat. All right, let's start afresh. So I'll click on new chat, and that brings me back, here for me to open up a new chat. All right, open up a new chat. So I can start, I can say hi, comma. Okay, so what we are doing now is we are going to give ChatGPT as much information as we can so that it gives us what what we want as well. If I ask ChatGPT what my name is, it will likely not know my name. All right. Let me quickly do that for you. What is my name? What is my name? All right. Doesn't It's telling me sorry, I don't have access to personal data of any individual, so and so forth. I say okay. I am Mohammed. So what is my name? Okay, I am Mohammed. So what is my name? Hello, Mohammed. It's nice to meet you. How can I assist you? If you have any questions or need information on a specific topic, feel free to let me know. Can you see that it's addressing me now? ChatGPT is addressing me with my name because I've provided it that information. Are you with me, guys? So this is how it works. It is garbage in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage out. All right. So, and this is why ChatGPT cannot replace me and you. So it's a tool meant for myself and yourself to use. So what I'll do now is this is not why we are here. I just wanted to show you how it works. Are we together? I'll open up a new chat now so that we can, do what we came here to do. Right? Now just type a yes in the chat if you are with me. Can't see your chat GPT screen. Guys, can you see my screen? Michael can't see my screen. Can you see my screen? Just confirm you can see my screen. All right, fantastic. So, Michael, what you want to do is you can leave the chat briefly, leave the call rather briefly, and join back. You should be able to see my screen thereafter. All right. So what we'll do now is this: we'll explain ourselves to ChatGPT. That's how to work with ChatGPT. Hi, I have a I have a supply chain. I have a supply chain return. I have a supply chain returns data sets with the following headers, and I paste those headers that I copied, right? Hi, I have a supply chain returns data set with the following headers, okay? And then I paste the headers that I copied, all right? Driver ID, driver name, company ID, company name, return dates, return complaints, product ID, product name, quantity, amount, risk category. All right. So you can separate them with a comma. Okay. You can separate them with a comma so that you ensure that ChatGPT is not confused about um the the header. So product name, um, quantity, unit price, amount, then risk category. Full stop. Right? Risk category. So I just put a space here just to make it neat. Are we together, guys? So this is me giving ChatGPT the column headers that I have in my data set. So I have a supply chain returns data set with the following headers, and I provide you with the headers. Now, see, I explained that it's a supply chain returns data set. So I'm putting a context around what I'm giving it. All right. And then I say, what are five key questions? What are five key questions I can answer with the data sets? What are five key questions I can answer with the data set? All right. And then I hit send, the arrow pointing up, at the side here. I hit send, and then, I have five key questions. Okay. I have five key questions. Now let's take a look at it. You might not have the exact same, might not have the exact same um, output. Okay. And that's because ChatGPT is, it's behaves as if it has a mind of its own. So it can think critically the way humans think. All right. So depending on the context, depending on how you type it, you may have, a different output. So but let's look at my screen. You can see it says return trend. It breaks it down to five aspects. I asked for five questions, five key questions. It gave me 10 effectively. It says, what are the overall trends in return over time? Are there specific periods or seasons where returns are more frequent? All right. Product analysis. Which products have the highest return rates? What's the most common return complaint for returning specific products? Financial insights. What is the total return amount in the data set? And can you identify any patterns or anomalies in the unit price or amounts for returned products? And it says risk assessment. How are returns distributed around different risk categories? is there a correlation between risk category and the quantity or amount returned, you know, of returned products? And then it says driver and company performance. Which drivers are associated with the highest number of returns? Are there specific companies that experience more returns than others? We'll try as much, we'll pick a random and we'll try as much as possible to answer maybe 2 to 3 questions together today. Okay, 2 to 3 questions together, and then set the ball rolling. So having this at the back of our mind, let me just copy it and put it in the chat so we can all have a copy of this. So um, so that's the question. Okay, those are the questions. 5 key questions, all right, from return trends down to driver and company performance. And when you are developing your report, you can also follow this pattern. All right. So, but let's go back to Excel now. So in Excel, all right, in Excel, we have all the information that we can use to answer those questions that ChatGPT has suggested. All right. So what we need to do, the first thing we want to do is let's convert this to an Excel table. And this is you learning a bit of Excel. Okay, send the data link. This is in the chat one more. But you still get the link to the data set, if you fill in the attendance form. So if you are just joining us, fill in the attendance form so that you can gain access to the data sets that we are using for today, this particular data set, and the slides that we'll be using as well. All right. So like I said, we'll be using this data set to answer the question. The first thing we want to do is let's convert this to an Excel table. All right. If you want to work effectively in Excel, you want to work with an Excel table. Mojoyi Nife. I put in the questions in the chat. I'm putting it again. So those are the questions that ChatGPT came up with. And we'll still go back and forth, between here and ChatGPT. These are the questions here, ChatGPT on my screen. So, but I'm back here in Excel, all right, which is what I am currently sharing. So, all right. Now, what what we want to do is let's convert to an Excel table, and it's very simple. I'll just click anywhere in the data set, click anywhere in the data set, hold my control key and hit my letter T on my keyboard. Control T, T for table, T for toy, control T on my keyboard, and I hit OK. Excel is asking me, oh, where is the data for your table? My table has headers. Ensure my table has headers is checked and click on OK. Click on OK. You see that Excel, is smart enough to see where my data covers. All I need to do is to click on OK, and it converts it to an Excel table. Right? This is an Excel table. So Excel tables are easier to work with. All right. You don't have to come back to always highlight and all that. Okay. So once you click on, once you do that and click on OK, all right, you do Control T and click on OK. All you need to do is to come here to table name. All right, you see table designs becomes activated on the left-hand side of your screen, the top left, where you can see my mouse. You see the name box for the table name. All I need to do is to click in there and change the name. I can type returns, 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 and hit enter. So what I've done is the name of this table is now returns. The name of this table is returns, right? The name of the table is returns. Right. So the name of this table is returns. All right. Returns. So all I need to do now is I would open a new sheet. To open a new sheet, I'll bring my mouse to the bottom part of my screen and click on this plus sign here. I'll click on the plus sign and that creates a new sheet. Now, this sheet is where I would get to answer some of those questions that ChatGPT suggested, right? So let's see one of the questions. Okay, what is the overall trend in returns over time? So let's answer that one and maybe another question, and then we can go into some of the other parts that we have for today. All right. So question number one says trend of trend of returns over time. trend of return over time. Trend of return over time. Now, to effectively answer this question, all right, I'll do two things. Okay, the first thing I would do is I would create what we call a pivot table. Pivot table. All right, a pivot table. So when you want to answer any question, you create a pivot table. What's a pivot table? We'll see it now. All you need to do is to click on an empty cell. Click on an empty cell. Okay, preferably towards the left-hand side, right? An empty cell, and click on insert. Okay, where you have file home, insert, click on insert, and you see pivot table. Pivot table. All you need to do is to click on the icon for pivot table. You can click on pivot table, the drop down, and click on from table or range, or you can click on the icon itself. So I'll click on the icon, and that pops up this window for me. All right, pivot table from table or range. And all I need to do is to type in the name of my table here. Remember, I changed the name. I gave my table a name, the table I created in the first sheet. You remember who can remind me of the name I gave the table? Somebody remind me the name I gave the table. Somebody. Fantastic. Returns. 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 So I type in returns, and all I need to do is to click OK. Click OK. Type in returns and click OK. Now something interesting happens. So if you're asking, oh, Mohammed said pivot table. What's pivot table? This is a pivot table. So when you create a pivot table, you automatically find the fields, or say the column headers. All right. You don't call them column headers, you call them fields. Okay, because within the fields here, yes, they are the column headers from your data set, but these things have sort of embedded. Okay, all right, I'll go back to that. They embed the data in them, so they are called fields, right? Remember, what do we want to answer? Okay, what did we want to answer? Trend of returns over time. Trend of returns over time. Just a quick one. I'll just go back to the first sheet. The way I changed the name of the table is simple. Just click on the table after I've created a table. Click on table designs, and on the left-hand side, you can just change the name you find here to returns, right? And then you can create a pivot table from that. Now, once you've done this, okay, what we want to do is we want to see um, our return date, right? Return date. I'll drag that and drop it in rows. Okay, I'll drag return date and drop it in rows, right? And I have my date here. Guys, can you see how my date looks like? Can you see how it looks like? It needs attention, right? It needs attention. So let's fix that together. Are we good? Let's fix that together quickly. Now you notice that my dates are not in the correct format. How do I fix that? I'll go back to sheet one where my data set is. I'll go back to sheet one where my data set is. I would put my cursor on return dates. All right. I'll put my cursor on return date until my cursor turns into a black arrow pointing downwards, without my letter E turning green. You can see my letter E is green here now. Okay. I don't want my letter E to be green, and I want to see the black arrow. So once you have this, you have a black arrow pointing down and letter E is not green. You click. That highlights the values under return dates. And all I need to do is right click on the highlighted values and click on format cells. Format cells. Format cells. So I'll go ahead and click on format cells. Okay. And you can see it's currently in general format. What I need to do is very simple. Click on dates. Click on dates, and you can see a preview of it. It turns it into an actual date format. And all I need to do is to click on OK afterwards. OK. I'll click on OK. Now, guys, what happens? I think this is more readable. Correct? Is that correct? You can read this now. At least you can tell me what the date is now. Correct? You can tell me what the date is. Guys, are we good? Right. So you can tell me what the date is now. So now that I've changed the format, I would come to the second sheet. I'll come to the second sheet where my pivot table is. You can see nothing happens yet to my pivot table, right? Nothing happens. The date has still not changed. The date has still not changed. So all I need to do is very simple, right? Where I have home, insert, page layout, formulas, data. Home, insert, page layout, formulas, data. Click on data and click on refresh. Click on data and just below it, you see the refresh icon. So I'll click on that and who notice what happened to my table? Who notice what happened to my pivot table after clicking on the icon for refresh? Click on the icon for refresh. Once you do that, everything updates. All right. So the data itself updates. Can we all see that? Can we all see that? Yes, it updated. All right, fantastic. So we have our date, but we want to see, how much quantity were returned, throughout these dates. And all I need to do is to, scroll down in my fields here and drag quantity. I'll drag quantity. I'll hold it and drag it and drop it in values. I'll hold quantity, drag it and drop it in values. Now, once I drop quantity in there, I would see sum of quantity. So automatically, the quantities that were returned in this particular date will be will be summed up here. So and you can see different quantities being summed up. But guys, it's very difficult to tell a trend for a span of 2 years, day on day. All right. Even the charts, if we create a chart out of this, it might not be easily readable. So let me quickly create a chart. You don't have to do this. Let me just show you, right? You don't have to do this. Let me show you, and then we'll solve the problem using ChatGPT. So I want to create a chart out of this table now. So I'll click on the pivot table, anywhere in the pivot table, and click on pivot table analyze. Pivot table analyze. You don't need to do this, all right? And then I'll click on pivot charts. All right. I want to select line charts because line charts are more suited to looking at trends. Okay. I'll click on the line charts and click on OK. Guys, can we see this? Is there anybody on this call that can say, okay, this is what happened between the 1st of February 2021 and 23rd of June 2022? Is there anybody on this call that can do that? Or you can confidently tell me that, look, looking at this chart in front of me, this is what happened from from February 1st to 23rd of June. Anybody? Anybody? No, no, fantastic. And you are learning one very valuable thing, data analysis. So it's not all about creating a chart, all right? It's not all about creating a chart. It is you telling a story using the charts. You want to communicate. If you're not communicating, you're not telling us anything. From what I have in front of me, nothing happened. But let's fix it. Right? Let's fix it. Let's fix it together. Now, this is how we fix it. Now, guys, if we can look at it on a monthly basis, okay, February 2021, March 2021, April 2021, and so on and so forth. Do you think it will make more sense like that? So we look at the amount of returns on month-on-month basis. So that way we can have a bird's eye view and we can actually tell that, okay, this was what happened, in the data. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? If we look at it month on month, we might be able to tell a better story as to what happened. Correct? Sure, yes. So let's now go back to sheet one. We'll go back to sheet one, all right? And what we want to do is we want to create a column here that would tell us the month, that will extract the month from this date. We'll create a column here that would extract the month from this date. So to create a column, all I need to do is I'll click on F, I'll click on F, I'll click on F, highlight the entire column, I right click on it and click on insert. Right click on F and click on insert, and that creates a new column here. And let's call the column month. Let's call the column month. All right, let's call the column month. Now, I need to write a formula here to extract the month for us. I need to extract the month from this date. How do I do that? ChatGPT comes in. So imagine you are just using Excel for the first time, all right? ChatGPT can help you out. As long as you know what you want, just tell ChatGPT and it gives you. So we'll come back to ChatGPT and say, okay, um, I have a column. I have a column in my I have a column in my data called um called dates, all right, or return dates. Or I have a date column in my data set. You can say so. I have a date column in my data set, comma. Um, give me, I'll put a full stop instead. Give me an Excel formula to extract the month from the dates, in a three-letter format. In a three-letter format. When I say three-letter date format, do you understand? I mean month format. Do you understand what I mean? In some calendars, you no longer have the months written in full. JAN, January, FEB, February, um, MAR, March. What's the three-letter format for April? I believe everybody knows, okay, APR, fantastic, good. So we want something like that, and it will help us visualization wise. So because we are going to be creating a chart out of it, all right, because we'll be creating a chart out of it, we want to ensure that we are minimalistic in terms of what we put in our charts, all right? So if you put the full name, you may not have much space in your chart. And the person who puts the three-letter format in their own chart still communicates effectively, right? Maybe even better. Do you understand? So that's what we want. So I have a date column in my data set. Give me an Excel formula to extract the month from the date in a three-letter format. And I hit enter or I send it. All right. And you see that Excel does sorry, not Excel. I'm mentioning all the tools that I use now. ChatGPT, right? I beg your pardon. ChatGPT, tells me something. It says, certainly, if your date column is, for example, guys, I want us to stay with me here. If your date column, for example, in cell A2, all right, is, for example, in cell A2, you can use the following Excel formula to extract the month in a three-letter format equal to text A2, which is where my date is. It's assuming that my date is in A2, all right? And then I type, I type a quote, um, I type a quote, I type MMM in it, three M's, and then I close the quote and close my brackets. Can we see this? Can we see this? Equal to text, and then I type I'm not going to type A2. I'll just select the cell where my date is. That's what A2 is standing for, yes, here. And then I type MMM in quotes, and then I close my brackets. Do we know the formula now? Do you think we can do it together in Excel if I go to Excel? Let's do that. Can we do that? If we go to Excel, so equal to text, I select the cell where my date is, and then I type equal to I type MMM in quotes. Now let's go back to Excel. Okay, you can copy the code. All right, you can copy the code, or you can go back to Excel and say, okay, equal to text, right? Can you see the text function? Equal to text. I open a bracket. All right, I open a bracket. Okay, and then it said I should select the cell where my return date is, right? Where my date is. So because it's in a table format, that's why it's appearing like this. This is actually cell E2. And you can type cell E2, right? Let's type cell E2. I open a bracket and type E2. E2. Can we all see this cell? This is cell E2. It is in column E and row 2. That is why we are calling it E2. Are we together? Are we good? It is in column E and it is in cell E2, right? That is, and you can see it highlighted here. Now, comma, what did it say I should type again? What did it say I should type? Can we remember? Can we all remember what did it say I should type after I select the cell? Okay, MMM, just MMM. Am I correct if I type it like this? Am I correct if I type it this way? Okay, fantastic. No, okay. So what do I do? Okay, I put a quote. I put a quote before it and after it, and then close my brackets. I close my brackets and hit enter. I hit enter. Once I hit enter, what happens? What happens? Can we all see what happens? You can see we now have FEB, 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 and you have March for the month of March. You have April for the date in April, and so on and so forth. Right? And so on and so right. So let's go back to ChatGPT again. Let's go back to ChatGPT. Okay. How about for year? How about for year? I'll just say how about for year. So it's a follow-up question. How about for year? How about for year? And I send it. So for here, it's going to give me the formula I need to use. So year, so it said equal to year um, A2, all right, to extract the year, equal to year A2. So it says for extracting the year um, from a date in in Excel and displaying it in a 4-digit format, you can use this. You can use the following formula. So there is a year function that you can use, all right, and it will display it, in a 4-digit format, all right, in a 4-digit format. You can use this. So equal to here, and you click this. But there is another formula, okay? There's another formula that looks exactly like this. And the only thing you need to change is the month, is this month format, and it will give you the year. So your date format is like your day, month, and year. So you have DD, MM, then YY. So D for day, M for months, Y for year. Correct? Are we good? Am I correct? Am I correct? Exactly. So let's now say that you are curious. You're expecting that, okay, since we used MM for months, is there another text function? Okay, can I also use the text function to extract my year? Can I also use the text function to extract my year? All right. So I asked Excel, can I also use the text function? I just want to know if that's possible, right? And it says certainly you can use text function to extract the year from a date and format it as needed, right? Here's an example. Can you see the difference between this formula and the first one we used? So instead of MMM 3 times, you now have Y 4 times. So it gives us the 4 digits of the year. So all you need to do is, okay, since that's possible, um, I want to go out of today's session knowing that, okay, if I have a date column anywhere in an Excel file, I can extract the year, I can extract the months, right? With a very similar formula. So I'll just come back to Excel and create another column. All right, click on column G and click on insert to insert a new column and say year and say year. I'll call it as year. And somebody guide me. What do I type? Equal to what? Equal to text, right? Equal to text. And then I open my brackets, right? Equal to text. Are we together? Or are we typing the formula down end? Equal to text. And then I click on the date. Okay. I click on the date. Or again, I type in the cell notation of where the date is. That is cell E2. Again, it's in column E and it's in row 2. Hence E2. Comma, and then the format is Y, 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 Y. And I close the quote and close my bracket. Are we together? So instead of MMM, I just put Y 4 times this time because I want to see the 4 digits. And all I need to do is to hit enter. Okay? All I need to do is to hit enter. All right? All I need to do is to hit enter and it gives me this. So some people are asking, okay, equal to year. Equal to year returns the so if you want to use the year function, you can also use that. All right, that's the first one, right? It says equal to year. I'm just doing that for, I'm just doing that for um the purpose of everybody. You can see the year function returns the year of a date and integers. I mean an integer in range, this and this. All right. So equal to year, and it says I'll just click the date and hit enter. All right. Now, once you hit enter, you have this, right? You have this. Okay. You can see it's very confusing. So let's fix that together. All right. Let's fix that together. All you need to do, yeah, is to convert this to is currently in a date format. All right. It's currently in a date format. That's why it's looking like this. So all we need to do is to convert it to a number format. It's that simple. All I need to do is to, again, just the way I formatted this to a date format, I'll format this to a number format. So I'll use my arrow down. All right. I'll bring my arrow, my cursor, just the way I brought it the other time to the top of, the column in such a way that it becomes a black arrow without H turning green. If I move it up a bit, H turns green. I don't want that. I'll move it down, allow it to be black, but H is not green. I click, and then I right click on the selected column and click on Format Cells. Once I click on Format Cells, you can see it's in date format. All I need to do is to change it to number or general. General is better. All right, you can see the sample. Can you see the sample already? You can see, if you click number, can you see? Can you see what's giving you? If I click general, can you see what's giving me? Right? So let's use general and click on OK. So this way you would have your year and you can call this year if you are using the first formula. Okay, are we good? Are we good? Are we good? This is for the benefit of those that used the first formula. All right. So yeah, this particular thing that happened to you happened to somebody, to one of our participants. All right, it happened to one of our participants, and they were able to get around it just because they knew that, oh, it's the format. Just change the format, and you'll be fine. All right. In as much as your formula is correct, the output will be correct. So, but I don't need this particular year column, so I'll take it out. All right, click on it and delete. Okay, so I already have this one and I can work with that. So all I need to do now is come back to sheet two. Let's come back to sheet two. Maybe this is the analysis we'll do, and then we'll see if we can do one more, and we'll go into some of the other things that we have for today. So now let's come back here, right? Let's come back here. Let's give me 1 second to resize this. Now you see we have what we did was, for here, we brought, you get the link to the data sets if you fill in the form. All right. So fill in the form. If you are just joining us, fill in the form, the attendance form. So you get the recording, you get the data sets, everything, and you can replicate what I'm doing today. Now, if you look here, you remember that for this particular pivot table, we use the return date and we use quantity. How about since now that we have month and year, we use those ones for the we use those ones for this chart, right? All we need to do is this. Oh, we look here. If you look at my fields, I'm supposed to have month and year here, correct? Guys, are we following? I am supposed to have month. Ordinarily, I should have month and year here, correct? But I don't. Or is it just me? Is it my eyes? Guys, help me out, please. Month and year is supposed to be here. So, but we don't have. Oh, we have gurus in the house. We have gurus in the house. So we need to refresh. Is it that you guys have used Excel before? Am I in the right session? All right. So I've done it before. Okay, I refreshed I've refreshed before in this session. So fantastic. It means you guys are following. All you need to do is to click on data here on the top where you have home, insert, page layout, formulas. You see data. Click on data and you click on the icon to refresh. And then once you do that, you will now have month and year. You have month and year. So now that we have month and year, which can describe what happened for us more, I would uncheck return date, or I'll drag it from here and drop it in the sheet. So it takes it out, right? It takes it out. So I'll just see the total quantity instead. So to now break it down in form of year, all I need to do is I'll drag here and drop it in rows. You can see from 2021 to 2022, you can see the breakdown. So it breaks it down. You can see a line saying that, okay, returns actually reduced from 2021 to 2022. But we also want to know what happened month on month across the years. All I need to do is to drag month and drop it on that year in this particular box, this box where you have rows. Okay. I would drag it and drop it on that year in here. Okay. And then, guys, I want us to look at this chart. Guys, look at this chart. Let me make it a bit bold. Can you tell us what happened can you now tell us what happened from February 2021 up until June? Can you tell us what happened? Do you think if I ask you, tell me what happened, you can now tell me, as opposed to the previous chart? It's still the same chart. We just changed some things, we did some tweaks, and then we're able to get this. Can you tell me what happened? Type a yes in the chat if you can. Fantastic. So Felix is saying, I think there is a spike in March. All right. Let's look at let me make it a bit bigger. Uh, okay. Let me make it a bit bigger so that we can all see it. Fantastic. So from February, when you go, returns increased in March, in April, came down up until June. Then there was a spike in August. Okay, it came down a bit again in September, went up back in October, and then I think that was the peak. So it peaked at the number at August and um, October were very similar. So it peaked at August, and then the lowest return that we recorded is at June. So it's safe to say that, okay, I think they started to address, maybe they started to address the returns, hence the reason why, there's been a significant drop in June, right? But, you are able to now tell the story around, this particular um, visual. So just one more thing. Let's insert another pivot table, just one more pivot table. Then um, I would have Olawale tell us how to, you know, um, I would introduce you into some of the other, some of the things you can do, and would have Olawale as well tell us how to become a data analyst and show us some people who have done it before. So I'll click on insert, and click on pivot table, the icon. I'll click on the icon for pivot table. Have you forgotten the name I gave my table? Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten the name? I have forgotten. Can you remind me of the name I gave the table? Fantastic. Thank you very much, Felix. It's the only Felix that can remember. Okay, great. So I'll type returns, and click on OK. I click on OK. All right, great. Thank you very much, guys. Click on OK. And then this time, okay, let's look at the second question. Where are those questions? Um, let's see. Let's just go to products. Okay, this is product analysis. Let me just see. Let's look at the drivers. Yeah, let's look at the drivers. Okay, let's look at how many products did each driver return. How many products did each driver return? All right. So let's look at that. So all I need to do is I go back to Excel and say, okay, since I want to see driver now, I'll drag driver name to rows. So I see a list of driver name. You can see Blake Jr., Dennis Carter, Greg Taylor, and so on and so forth. And then I'll drag quantity to values. Quantity, I'll hold and drag it and drop it in values. Now, once I do that, there's a breakdown of the quantity returned for each driver. And all I need to do is to click on the pivot table that I just created, right? Click on the pivot table, okay? Click on pivot table analyze, and click on pivot charts. And you'd see a column chart. So I'll just click on OK. I'll click on OK here to select the chart, right? And you can see I have a chart that's telling me that, look, who can tell me what this chart is saying? So that let me format the chart a bit so that you can see it more clearly. So I'll right click on this button that is here, this sum of quantity button. I'll right click on it and click on hide all field buttons on chart. Hide all field buttons on chart. Okay, takes that out. Let me take out total also. I don't need it. It's a legend. I do not need it. Doesn't add any value to my chart. Click on that, hit delete on your keyboard. It takes it out. Guys, can you tell me a story? Can you tell me if I ask you, okay, as far as the drivers, as far as the drivers are concerned in returns, what happened? What happened? Okay, this is not bold enough. Let me see if I can increase it so that you can see it. Okay, so that you can see the driver names. This is just for the purpose of you telling me I've increased it. So can you see it clearly now? Can you tell me what happened? Fantastic. Everybody's saying the same thing. So Casey Dre had the highest returns, and not just the highest returns, by far the highest. So as a data analyst, you must describe exactly what you can see. If you say Casey Dre had the highest returns, you are correct, absolutely correct. But you want to talk about the extent in which the highest is. Casey Dre has by far the highest return. All right. So, okay, by far the highest, because when you compare it to the others, you can see that if we can solve or if we can investigate into what's happening with Casey Dre, we might be solving the all our returns problems that we have in you know, uh, this particular organization, right? And you can now see that we got this idea from ChatGPT, and we're able to translate it, all right, into meaningful insight. So and you have okay, Fredaus is saying they should fire him. Okay, so it's not our job to fire people as a data analyst. Sometimes your analysis can lead to people getting out of the organization, but that's not the goal of your analysis, right? Your job is to bring out insights. It's left to the top level team to do the needful, maybe question him or eventually fire him. I don't know. That'll be up to the management. All right, but your job, you've done it. You'll be saving the organization a lot of money. All right. So please, guys, if you have time, explore the other questions, but would pause there, in terms of what we can use ChatGPT to do. Um, Let me give you one thing before we go. One more thing, okay? It's very interesting. One more thing. Let's say, for example, all right? Let's say, for example, um, okay, it gave you this formula, but you don't understand, you don't really understand what the formula does. You don't really understand what the formula does. I can say, can you explain the formula to a 5-year-old? Can you explain the formula to a 5-year-old? Or you can say, can you explain the formula to an absolute beginner? Choice is yours, right? To a 5-year-old. You click on this and watch what happens, guys. So absolutely, let's break it down. It says, imagine you have a magical box, and inside the box, there is a special calendar that tells you the date. All right. You want to know the year from the calendar. So it's saying that in this magical box, you have a special calendar in it that tells you the date. All right. Everybody knows you can get dates from your calendar, right? So, but you want to know the year from that calendar. So the formula is like a spell that you say to the magical box, and it goes like this. So this is the spell. Okay. Now, now it says, here's what each part means. A2. This is like telling the magical box to look at a specific spot called a cell, right? Text brackets. So it's explaining every single step, each part of the formula. So aside from ChatGPT being a productivity tool for you as a data analyst, for you looking to get into the tech space, it's also a learning tool. So you have a platform like Analytics that shows something like this, right? Once you add this to your tool stack, you are a flyer, right? You can stack up against the best professionals in the field as long as you have the domain knowledge. All right. So we'll talk more about that But I want to know if you enjoyed the session and if you learned something. Did you learn something new? Did you learn something new? Type a yes in the chat if you did learn something. Type a yes in the chat if you did learn something. We'd have time for questions towards the end of the session, right? Okay, you learned something new. Yeah. So, and I can enumerate what you learned. So, you learned that data analysis is not just about creating fancy charts, it's about actually telling a story, right? And, ChatGPT can help you with creativity. So, you don't need to worry about formulas, all those technical formulas. ChatGPT can take care of that. So, ChatGPT is like the new calculator, the way you use calculator to calculate mathematics, right? Use ChatGPT to get formulas, and you can make use of that. So I'm happy you guys gained a lot from the session. So I'll just go back to presenting. All right, I'll go back to presenting. Can you see where's my PowerPoint? Okay, sorry, give me 1 second to open up my PowerPoint. All right, 1 second to open up my PowerPoint. Right. Okay. So, like, for those of us who joined late, I've kept the link in here. I've kept the link in here to the data set. You can absolutely get it. Just ensure you fill in the attendance form, and you'd definitely get the recording and the link and this particular slide. All right. So why exactly should you become a data analyst? Why should you even choose a career in data analytics in the first place? I'll tell you for a fact, it's a very interesting career path, all right, to take on. And the reason is very simple. Okay. The demand for data analysts is skyrocketing. I was in a session and I was discussing with people that they were saying, oh, a lot of people are doing data analytics. I see a lot of data analyst roles out there, right? A lot of people are doing are data analysts. How can I possibly break in starting from zero? What a lot of people don't know is that yes, it is true. While it is true that a lot of people are data analysts, it is also true and what to note that a lot of organizations till date are still asking for data analysts. And the reason is simple. Technologies are changing, technologies are evolving. All right. Talk of AI with the advent of tools like ChatGPT, it's raising the bar, it's raising the game. So being a data analyst is now less of knowing those technical bits like a guru. Okay, it's much less of that now, and more of you, spending time solving actual problems, right? Your domain knowledge. How can you creatively think, and okay, maybe write it in ChatGPT. Okay, I need a formula that can do this for me. And it goes beyond Excel. You can use it to get DAX formulas in Power BI. For those of us who are familiar with, DAX in Power BI, and so on and so forth. So with the advent of tools like this, the bars are changing, right? The bar is changing. It's ChatGPT is raising the bar. So, and a lot of recruiters are even looking for people who know how to use, all right? And speaking of that, if you look at the future of jobs report from the World Economic Forum, and I've kept the link here, you can, look at it. You can look at it, right? You can look at it. You can look at it when you get the slide. All right. You can look at it when you get the slide. So the job reports for future of jobs from the World Economic Forum, which is a combination or a forum of you know top guys in the universe. You talk of captains of industries, speak of very very strong politicians and billionaires. So they come up with these reports, and what they are trying to do is year on year they predict what's likely going to happen in the future, and one of it is what will happen with jobs. Tech jobs is the in thing. Tech jobs will be on the rise going forward. One of the main reasons is because of the advent of AI, right? The advent of AI. And look at the very top here, you still have data analysts and data scientists. You can see the blue bar showing that there's still going to be more demand compared to decline. The purple part shows decline on the left hand side, The blue part shows, increase in, recruitment for these particular roles. If you look on this side, you see jobs that are likely to decline, going forward. Sorry about that. I'll just go back. All right. Now, data analyst is a job that would be on the rise going forward. So, what's data analyst role itself? Who is actually a data analyst? All right. So, a data analyst is that person that is responsible for analyzing data to do what? To generate insights. Okay. So, you must always have that at the back of your mind. The goal of your analysis is to generate insights, right? Now, how do you become a data analyst? How then do you become a data analyst? Somebody's asking of SPSS. All right, yeah, SPSS is also a spreadsheet. Yeah, absolutely. You can use ChatGPT to to work with SPSS. Okay, but many organizations use Excel, rather than SPSS. SPSS is mostly for research, mostly used in research. Right now, how then do you become a data analyst? Back to where we are. Okay, so as a data analyst, you need to understand that you'll be focused on two types of analytics: descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. All right, descriptive and diagnostic analytics. Descriptive is what we did today. We want to tell a story, we want to describe what exactly happened. Some of you said, oh, there was a spike in March. Oh, there was a decline in October. Right? That's a story we are telling. So we can decide to now take it a step further to diagnose. Okay, since we had a decline in, let's say, June 2022, what do you think happened? And then we start to look at several other aspects of the data so that we can explain why we had a decline in June. And doing that would mean diagnostic analytics. So we are diagnosing what happened in June. So if we understand what happened in June, we can replicate that moving forward to further reduce, you know, the the returns. But one notable thing that we saw was that Casey Dre had by far the highest number of returns, and it's a no-brainer to address Casey Dre's issue, and would have solved more than 50% of the issue of the problem, right? So the average salary of a data analyst in the UK is around £40,000. Average, not the highest, not the lowest, right? If you're looking at Canada, if you're in Canada, you're looking at £64,000, over £64,000. And if you're in the US, you're looking at over 70,000 US dollars. All right. And all you need to do to get the opportunity to earn this kind of salaries, very simple, right? What about the productive analytics? Oh, read one. I think you mean predictive analytics. So predictive analytics is mostly done by the data scientists. All right, the data scientist. If you look at you remember if you looked at the job reports that I showed you earlier, it said it categorized data analysts and scientists, as a job that would be rising. So data analyst and data scientist, um, would be on the rise. The data scientist is usually responsible for the predictive aspect of analytics. So they can predict what may likely happen if certain steps are taken. All right, that's a topic for another day. Now, what do you need to learn to become a data analyst? You need to learn problem solving. You saw that when I was explaining what I was doing, I was not chasing a very fantastic or beautiful chart. I was chasing solving an actual problem, which we did. We were able to get to the root of the matter in just two charts. All right. So problem solving is a concept that you need to learn. This is where you talk about some, different techniques of you solving a problem. Talk of the CRISDM framework, root cause analysis, SWOT analysis, talk of, Pareto principle, many different framework that you get to learn in this particular module when you get to join us, right? And then you learn Excel. We used Excel today. You learn how to use Excel to solve real world problems, right? Having the problem solving mindset in mind. You learn how to solve real world problems. And then you move to SQL, which is a structured query language. And this is your bread and butter as a data analyst. So it's a very simple language that you learn to extract data from data storage systems. Data storage systems are called data databases or data warehouses. All right. So where data is stored. So how do you retrieve data from there? You use SQL to do that. I will teach you how to do that. Right. Then you get to learn Power BI. I made mention of Power BI. All right. Power BI is a business intelligence tool, very powerful tool that you use to, automate reports. You automate reports in such a way that when you create a report in January and you don't have to touch the reports on, you don't have to, recreate the reports in February. All you need to do is to add February data and hit refresh, and that's all. You can even schedule refresh in such a way that you don't have to manually refresh it and it refreshes itself. You can use Power BI for that. Tableau is another powerful visualization tool, also a business intelligence tool. And the reason we've added Power BI to it is because recruiters ask for one of the two, either Power BI or Tableau. So you knowing the two puts you at that pedestal, right? Projects you as a top talent when you're applying to jobs. And then you have data storytelling. Remember, what you want to do is to tell a story using data. You want to make sense to your audience, solve problems. So you learn data storytelling concepts. You'd also get to learn what? Guys, can we see what I have on my screen? Let me hash it so you see. Can you see this? ChatGPT for analytics. So professionals like myself will get to show you how to use ChatGPT to make life easy for yourself. All right. You use it as both a productivity tool and a learning tool as well. Right. And then you get to learn what we call Microsoft Fabric. It's a new tool in the Microsoft ecosystem that was developed by Microsoft. And it allows you to, collaborate with other data professionals in your organization. All right. And the program lasts for, 4 months. Right. 4 months. You have 3 months of live classes and 1 month of internship. Okay, 3 months of live classes, 1 month of internship. So let me go to the next slide and talk more about the timing. Okay, so so once you get to learn these tools, you can apply to several different roles as a data analyst with a data analyst skill set. You can apply to a data analyst role, marketing analyst, BI analyst, sales analyst, supply chain analyst, product analyst, logistics analyst, and so on and so forth. There are many more that you can apply to. So, and this increases your chances of getting a job at the end of the day with the skills that you have. All right. So, like I was talking about the program, it's a 3 month project based live class. So you work on real world projects for 3 months, and then you'd also get capstone projects. So, as you complete your Excel, you do a capstone project. As you complete, Power BI, you do a capstone project, and so on and so forth, right? And then you'd have an instructor like myself in class walk you through these steps. On Saturdays, we have classes specifically for people in the UK and, in Europe at large or in Africa, all right, for these time zones. The classes start 11 a.m. West African time and ends, it lasts for 3 hours and ends 2 p.m. West African time, right? So currently this is 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the UK. So depending on your region, this is the time you're having your classes if you are in this region. And for those of us in North America, in Canada, in the US, your classes start 6 p.m. West African time, which would be around 10 a.m. MST, right? And then the classes end after 3 hours, which is 9 p.m. Watts, and that'll be around 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. All right. And your classes happen on Sundays, like I mentioned. Sorry, I beg your pardon, on Saturdays. The classes happen on Saturdays. All right. Now, yeah, Nigerian time is if you're in, like I said, if you're in Nigeria, you'd have your classes alongside the guys in Europe, in the UK. You have your classes 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. West African time. That's Nigerian time. All right. So, and if you opt for this particular class, so you'd either be in one class, either you are in morning class or in the evening class, and then your program goes ahead like that. Then on Sundays, you have what we call self-paced watch me do it video, and this is in a bid of blending the training. So now your self-paced watch me do it videos are small, bite-sized videos that we send to you on Sundays to prepare you for the class ahead of the coming Saturday. All right. So, for example, today is Sunday. You get your Watch Me Do It videos, and you watch these short videos ahead of the class on Saturday. to get prepared. So when you come to class, you already have some little basics already. You understand some little basics from the watch me do it videos. All right. And that helps you to participate effectively during the class. All right. So because in class you are going to be solving real world projects. So it's not you learning, theoretical concepts, right? So the watch me do it videos cover all those areas. Then you come to class on Saturdays and solve real world projects. So I would allow Olawale, take it off from here and show us some people who have done it before. Okay, some people have done it before. They're trying to do it. Olawale will talk more about that now. So hi Olawale.
Hi, Mohammed. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear, Olawale. How are you doing today?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for such a enlightening session. It's great to have you chat about AI and how it affects data analytics generally, as as it is now. Um, this part of the session, yeah, let me share my screen quickly. First, you don't have to take all we have said for it. I'd like for you to listen to some of our past participants and how they've been able to go through the whole flow, just like you're doing now, and then being able to make the best out of their career in tech. Um, please confirm if you see my screen. Can you see my screen, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay, all right. So there is a saying that it always seems impossible until it is done. So, like I said, I just want to share a few success stories before I delve deep into uh, this my part of the session. And my part is the most interesting. I'm sorry to be biased because I'm going to be sharing a discount with the people that will decide to go on this journey with us moving forward. If you have stayed here for the past over an hour now, then it means you are really determined and you are laser focused on what you want your future to look like moving forward. Um, so before I move on, let me just show you, like I said, a few success stories. This is Tony here. Tony is a benefit analyst with the NHS in the UK, and she got a full visa sponsorship just after 1 month of training with us. And we helped her basically to prepare for the interview, provide a reference for her to secure our role. We also have Olugbemi here. Olugbemi actually, before he left Nigeria for Canada, he reached out to us and told us how he wanted to get a tech skill that he could use to leverage when he gets to Canada. And after our training, getting to Canada within a few months, 2, 3 months, he was able to secure a job. Also, we have Oluwatosin here, who is a fraud analyst in the UK. Benga here has been in Poland for years, but he said he couldn't secure a job, even though he was well learned, he has his master's. But then our training was able to structure him or position him in a way such that he's able to get a good job. So I'm going to just first play. We have a gallery of success stories here. I'm going to play one for you so that you can listen to them yourself before I proceed to show you what are the things that we have structured. So the part that you've listened to so far is Mohammed literally telling you what the training looks like, what it is like in class. You see how Mohammed is able to carry everybody along in the training. So this is literally what the training looks like. So it doesn't we don't check what your background is, where you're coming from. We've seen law students who come to our program and then transition easily into tech. The years of experience we have, we've been able to make sure. So I use the analogy of you trying to go from look at the ocean generally as it connects the whole world. Now trying to put that side by side as the internet connecting the whole world. Yeah, you could go on the ocean and say you're going to the UK, yeah, or you're going from through the ocean to Canada. If you don't get good navigation, someone who has gone through that route before show you the way, then you might find yourself go around and then find yourself in Benin Republic, or you go around and find yourself in China or somewhere that. But then your idea was to just go to Canada. So, but then if you go with someone or if you listen to someone who has been able to go through that same route, they can give you the right navigation that gets you exactly where you want to do. So that's where Analytics comes in. We're not just teaching you, giving you the training, but we're also able to position you based off our years of experience, such that you're able to take the right steps. And then instead of going around the ocean, I'm using the ocean as an analogy, going around the ocean, we're able to show you the right paths to go through. So instead of spending the next 2-3 years trying to find your ground in tech, we're able to structure that and put that together for you and do that within 4 months, within a 4 months training program. So like I said, over the last years, we've had over 2,000, since 2021 we started, we have over 2,000 people transition from our classrooms to their first career in tech. Last year alone, we had over 850. So please, let's join me for a second. Let's listen to Ikmat here. And you'll be baffled by our story and how she's able to transition into tech. Please confirm if you can. Okay, let me just skip this. Mohammed, can you confirm if you can hear Ikmat?
No, I can't. I think the video is muted. Or I can let me share briefly and see. We still can't hear Ikmat.
And then wanting to break into something new.
Okay, we can hear
wanting to
now.
go back into the workforce, wanting
Yeah,
to
you
place
can. Can
myself
you
in the
restart the video?
society for
Okay.
better job opportunities. And I was with the March cohort in Analytics, and joining Analytics has been the best decision so far. For me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Ife is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In Analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You have people you can always go back to, even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever, because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a maths test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me, because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student, and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up, because you always have analytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far, and that's a very good advantage. So yes, analytics for the win.
All right, thanks, guys. So let's just move quickly. So there are a lot more success stories on this this folder, sorry, on this presentation file. So once you fill in the form as an attendant, and then you're going to get a copy. So you can look at this yourself, and also you can also go on to our YouTube channel to watch more of these videos. So anyways, let me move quickly to why you should actually train with analytics. Like I said, if I'm using the ocean analogy again, you could go into the ocean and do many things. You could say, okay, I'm going there to catch catfish, or sorry, maybe sharks. It's sharks I like. Someone else can go there to catch sardines. Someone else can go there to catch mackerel or titus fish. There are different kind of things you can do on the ocean. But then if you want to do one and pick one, for instance, okay, I want to specialize in catching just one type of fish, you need to have a structured approach to it. Yeah. So that's where analytics comes in. Yeah, we understand how hard it can be for people to transition from a present job, for someone who's been a lawyer all their life, imagine, and then they want to become a data analyst, for instance. If you don't have the clear mentorship or someone to hold your hands through the whole process, yeah, it might take a longer time to achieve that. Yeah, and that's something we've noticed, especially for people in the Black community, which is where we are most focused. Like Mohammed mentioned earlier, the World Economic Forum has already shown the kind of jobs that people are going to increase in the next coming years, and the ones that are probably going to dwindle away in the next coming years. So we are trying to position people such that they are able to get this training or get to this point quickly enough to become well-seasoned professionals. So that is why analytics comes in, and we're able to position, structure our learning program such that it helps to make that makes that transition as quickly as possible. So now, first reason why you should train with analytics is because we have been phenomenal in helping people to get their jobs, their first job in tech. Like I said, since we started, we've had over 2,000 people transition from our classrooms to their first tech career. And how are we able to do this? Because of our structured learning program. Yeah, we select what you need to do the job. Yeah, you could go ahead and learn a lot of things, but then we pick out the things you actually need to get a job done. Yeah, and that is the most important thing, if you'd agree with me. You're not learning to be able to argue or win arguments, but you are learning to be able to get a job done. So we actually pick out what you need, and then we teach you based on case studies and projects, just like Mohammed just did in this. So we pick out real life scenarios and use that to train you, yeah, such that you are able to solve problems as a tech professional, and not just be able to write things down or define terms or define jargons. What you can actually do is learn and be able to solve problems. The second reason why you should join us is because of our industry standard facilitators. Mohammed here has worked with some of the best companies in work in terms of consulting, and also in terms of his daily work from Mondays to Fridays, before he now comes to classes on Saturdays and Sundays, to be able to pour out all he has learned over the week into his students with real life scenarios, and use that to be able to bring them up to speed. We have people who have worked with, Mohammed has worked with Alfa Romero in the US. We have our facilitator with Apple, facilitators from Microsoft, from PwC, from Deloitte and the likes. So these are seasoned professionals that you will be glad to learn from them. They are bringing in what's actually trending in the world of data analytics into their classes. Then of course, our blended training program accommodates your learning type. So the way we have structured our training, I'm going to play one more one more story of someone who was a caregiver in the UK and able to transition to become, in Canada now, to become a business analyst. She said our training program actually dragged her along. Yeah, because first, like I said, our programs are structured such that you're able to learn, regardless of how, if you're a fast learner or a slow learner, we literally hold you by the hand. And aside that, we have the facilitators that teach you. Then you have coordinators that you can always ask questions, yeah, such that you are carried along. We have drop-in sessions during the week. So if you have a class on Saturday, you're unable to attend, you have a video recording of that class that you follow through. On Sundays, we have Watch Me Do It videos. That Watch Me Do It videos prepares you for the coming class, yeah? So that way you're able to carry you along. And during the week, you have drop-in sessions. Drop-in sessions are sessions where whatever it is you learn on Saturday and you do not understand, you can now come back again. Your coordinators will listen to you. You meet some of your co-students, then you interact and be able to ask questions such that by the next class, everybody is literally carried along. The most important thing here, which is a very strong factor that I think we should be very clear on, is that your dedication actually plays a major role in all of this. Yeah, it takes a lot for someone to say, I want to transition into tech. There is a level of commitment that is involved. That commitment to say, okay, I have a 3 hours class on Saturday. I must be in that class. Yeah. On Sunday, you get sent a video that prepares you for the following week. You say, I want to watch this video. That's why they say, watch me do it. So a video recording by Mohammed, for instance, you watch how he's doing all of this. Imagine you going back to watch all he has done so far and doing it yourself. Yeah, it takes a lot of discipline, a lot of dedication. But then, to be honest, the end of all of that is a very sweet story that if you're passionate well enough about your career, about the future, is something you would love to do. So meaning there's a lot of dedication that comes into it on your own part, but we have structured it such that, like I told you, over 2,000 people transitioning from our classroom to their first career in tech is numbers that's actually astonishing, and we are very proud of. So we're able to carry everyone along, fast learners, slow learners. Our programs are structured so that you're able to pick up to speed. Then lastly, we have tailored sessions to position you for your first job, meaning after the training, yeah, the training is structured so that it helps everyone. What we now have added to it now is that we have things like the CV review session. I'll be talking more about that shortly. CV review sessions and the likes that helps you to, that prepares you. Those are the things you will not get on places like Coursera or on watching YouTube videos or Udemy. We have other things that helps you package you ready for that job. Let me just move to the next slide, and I'm going to discuss more on that. Those are the employability additions that we have at Data Analytics that actually not just train you, but also prepare you for a job. So I'll just go straight into it. There's a 3-layered approach that we call our additional employability services. This is something, like I said, we are very proud of. It has worked for us, and it keeps working, and we are proud to show it to the world at every point in time. Number one is the CV review sessions. A lot of people have, let me not use the word bad CVs, but not so great CVs. Yeah, because that's the first document that shows who you actually are. Yeah, you could have a first class in whatever field of study you are, but then you present a CV that's not top notch. Yeah, first things first, with the way technology is now, there are what we call application tracking systems or softwares that when you submit a CV online, it will search for certain keywords. And if those keywords are not there, it literally throws you out. Yeah, before it now gets to the HR manager or the HR person, that's the human that will now assess and look at what you have. So the CVs is one of the things that messes a lot of people up. So we take it seriously. We help you look at your CV, help you align it. Trust me, there are a lot of things you have done in the past that involves a lot of data that you're probably not aware of, even as a lawyer or as a medical doctor or as a banker. Yeah, we can help you now structure your CV such that we're able to merge in whatever you've been doing for the past 10 years or the past 20 years and align it into your new career path as a data analyst. So that CV review session helps you to iron all of that out. The next is the LinkedIn optimization. Yeah, you can agree with me that as much as a lot of people go on to LinkedIn for Instagram and the likes to do their daily social life and all of that. LinkedIn is where professionals go to. In fact, as it is now, a lot of HR professionals also go to LinkedIn to search for the best talent in the world. So we help you to optimize your LinkedIn in a way such that HR professionals can easily find you. There are success stories where we've seen some of our students they are found on LinkedIn just by searching for data analyst in UK. Your profile should come top, yeah. But there is a way you position yourself for that position, yeah. So it's not all about your CV is good, yeah, but then your LinkedIn profile also should be top notch, should be well optimized such that you can be found by HR professionals. So those are the other things that we had to what we are giving to you outside the training that you get. The third thing here is the Upwork optimization. One step back. Upwork optimization. So while you finish with your training, before you get that dream job, you can jump on projects on Upwork, remote projects, and work with short gigs, 3-month gigs, 6-month gigs from different parts of the world, just to build your portfolio and build your profile as a top professional. So we help you optimize your Upwork also. There are thousands of professionals, did I say hundreds of thousands of professionals on Upwork, yeah? And you should be able to stand out. How do you stand out? Is by optimizing your profile. Optimization of profile is something people do on all platforms. People do it on their Facebook, they do it on their Instagram, just so they stand out. So how do you do it on professional platforms like Upwork and LinkedIn? We're able to help you do that in your mentorship sessions and drop-in sessions that you have as a student. Also, navigating the job market. You don't just go out there and search for jobs. You could get overwhelmed. Like I said, I'll always use my ocean analogy. If you jump into the ocean without knowing what you want to do, not very clear as at what you want to do, saying, okay, I want to ship in bags from China. I want to ship so number of bags from China. You know who you want to go through to buy from. You know how you want to ship it from China to Nigeria and follow through on that. But if you're not sure and you just jump out there, you could get lost. Yeah. So navigating the job market also can be dicey. Going to the internet to search for job, you could fall into scams. But then we're able to help you navigate the job market. What kind of job roles you should actually be looking for? So if you see a data analyst, for instance, you could say, oh, I'm a data analyst, but then you see things like systems analyst or BI developer and all of this. Those are different names that they could coin into that different companies could use for data analysts. You should be able to identify and be able to look through the job description and see that, oh, I can actually do this. Yeah. So you shouldn't just be looking for data analysts. Then again, if you are in specific locations, there are places where you should actually be looking for jobs. So we actually train you through how to do all of this so that your job search is actually tailored and then well structured also. Next is the job interview preparation. This is where we stand out in the industry, meaning we are able to help you simulate a real life interview preparation or a real life interview. So once you start putting out your CV and you start getting invites for interview, you send an email or you book a meeting with people like Ibrahim and Mohammed and some of our facilitators, and then they sit you down, look at the job you've applied for, and ask you questions like you were in that interview real life. So these sessions are going to prepare you when you actually now go for that interview. If you remember what Ikmax mentioned a few minutes ago, how she came to an interview prep with Mohammed, and Mohammed was asking questions like she said it was like he literally saw into the future. So these are the kind of things that we help you prepare for the job, such that you are not coming in. She came to study with us after 4 years of taking care of our child. Yeah. And she was able to ace an interview 3 months into the program. So these are the kind of things that you wouldn't that we have intentionally put together to be able to help you quickly break whatever barrier could be in transitioning and also get into tech. And the interesting thing is the tech ecosystem does not care about where you're coming from in terms of you have a BSc, master's, PhD in agriculture or in whatever. So far you can do the job, you are confident enough, and you can show a portfolio that shows what you have done, yeah, and be able to defend and be able to sell yourself, then you're good to go. So all of this is what we have been able to package together, yeah, and be able to offer our students. And then the success rate is just been has been interesting. So all of this is what we package together to be able to help you get into the job ecosystem. Now, the reference letter, number 6 here is reference letter. So how does this reference letter work? So imagine, again, you studied law in school, and you're moving to the UK or moving out to Canada and the likes, and then you do a 6 months training, or sorry, a 4 months training with us. Then you do our internship program. Yeah. So the next thing, when you're applying for a job, they will look at your CV knowing that, okay, this person has just gotten into this for the past 6 months or maybe 8 months or 4 months. And then you need someone to be able to vouch for you and say, okay, I can give a reference letter to say, okay, this person actually knows what we're doing. That's where 10 Analytics comes in also. Udemy will not give you a reference letter, trust me. Coursera cannot give you a reference letter. So if you have come to class, done your part in terms of coming to class, yeah, you've done all your projects, you've built your portfolio, you submitted your portfolio for review, you've attended interview prep sessions and all of that, we'll do well in our own part to be able to give you that reference letter and tell any potential employer that, see, we can vouch for this person. This person is a seasoned data analyst and they know what they're doing. Yeah, so that's one thing also that makes us stand out as a training institute. So the next thing here is the second layer now is the weekly mentorship, like I mentioned. Weekly, we actually bring on board professionals, people who have gone through the same routes before, and they talk to you, give you insights, give you things that are the trends that are happening in the data ecosystem and how you can use that in terms of for preparing you for the next job you're trying to apply for, or prepare you for what's happening in the ecosystem. This mentorship is actually something we take very big because we believe in the power of mentorship. In fact, everyone on this call would agree with me that mentorship is very important in almost all aspects of life. In your religious life, marital life, professional life, mentorship is a very strong approach to things, meaning you don't have to make the mistakes of other people. I spent 5 years before I became really grounded in the tech ecosystem. You don't have to spend 5 years. 10 Analytics is saying you do not have to go there 5 years. You can do it actually in 4 months with a structured approach to things. Yeah, so that's why we'll be able to package all of this with these mentorship sessions, weekly mentorship sessions. All it takes, to be honest, is your determination. And trust me, the sky is just a starting point. Then again, on the job support, there is the imposter syndrome that most people have. So you just done training for 6 months and then you're in a job where you have to work as a data analyst. You don't have to get scared. You can always reach back to 10 Analytics, and then whatever it is that comes up new to you on the job, you can always help you out. Let me use the analogy again for a carpenter, for instance. Imagine you go to join to meet someone who is a carpenter for 20 years and you want to learn how to become a good carpenter in 4 months. In 4 months, the man, if he is going to train you the way we train at 10 Analytics, for the 4 months, he's just going to tell you things like, guy, build a table, build a chair, build a bed frame, build a cupboard, and things like that. And just once you're able to do all of that and do it properly, and while you're doing it, he's telling you, okay, move this to the right, move this to the left, and then you do all of that, and then by 4 months you can do something for yourself. You can build all of those structures yourself. So now on the job support now is that you now going back to your boss later and be like, boss, now I can build a table, I can build a chair, but then the types of wood that are available in the market or the best suppliers that can get me the best wood, where do I find them? Now that's what we are talking about in terms of on the job support. So you can come back again and say, okay, now this is what I learned in class, this is what I can do, and this is what I'm doing. But then this came up at work. How do I able to level up and be able to pick up on some of these things such that I go, so we are able to help you out, help you look at whatever it is the issue might be. And that's another way to make you grounded as quickly as possible and build your confidence while on the job. So with all of this, with your own intentional approach to learning, with the way we have structured our program, by the first month after your training program, we can guarantee you that you'll be ready for an interview, and at least you will get at least a job interview following through on this religiously. So there are other things that we have for this new year, which is our initiatives that we've introduced in 2024. We call number one is the body mentorship hub. These are people who have gone through our program, and trust me, we have a whole lot of them. You can, like I said, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch videos. Our body mentorship hub is where people who have gone through whatever it is, this part, and have succeeded, they want to give back. They want to pour out their knowledge into some new students also. So our alumni, they actually, who have gotten jobs in their career path, they come as a support system. So they come to talk to new students, ask questions, show them what they have done right. And all of that will help build your confidence also and help you along your learning path. The other thing is the internship experience. So like Mohammed mentioned, for a 4 month program, you do 3 months of active learning, project-based learning, case study, and all of that. Then 1 month is internship, where we simulate a real life work environment, and then you are able to do real life projects and the likes. So it is enhanced for projects like data engineering and business analysis, where they do 2 months instead of 1 month. But as a data analyst, you'll be doing 1 month where you work on real life projects weekly, and you come back for feedback from people like Mohammed, and that helps you to quickly get grounded as a data analyst. Then lastly is the partnership that we have with recruitment agencies. So for our best students who are doing very well in class, who have done well in their internship projects, we actually recommend them to top recruitment agencies in the UK, Canada, US, and other countries. This way, you're guaranteed for interview as quickly as possible. And all of these interviews are going to get you grounded, learn more, learn fast, and then you're able to move quickly. So after saying all of this, I think it's about time I share with you the discounts that we have for the first 20 people on this call who are able to join our next cohort by March 2nd. So all you have to do is use this link here. I'm going to click on that and show you how you can make your payment using this link. My colleagues on this call will share this link with you. There is a discount for the first 20 people who are on this call who are able to make payment as quickly as possible. But first, before you make payment, I want to explain something for you. Explain something to you quickly. Now, you're able to come on this call because you have some level of education. Yeah, you're able to come on this call because you see the value. Maybe you saw someone told you about it, or you saw an ad or something. You see the value that you could gain from it. Yeah, there is no cost to something that's valuable to you. To be honest, there is no price tag to what's valuable to you. Now, imagine if you can go back years, try to envision yourself back as maybe like a 5-year-old. Yeah. Imagine you didn't go through a kindergarten school, primary school, secondary school, university to this level. Yeah. Just imagine where you probably be. Now, imagine the cost of education from that point till now. You can't actually put a figure to it. You can only say, I thank God that I have that opportunity to be able to go to school. Maybe you paid for yourself or your parents were able to pay for you. So now, from this point now, look at how much do you think you can spend on educating yourself again to get to a point where you can say, I'm a senior data analyst, or you can say you are a global talent in terms of data analysis, or saying you are using data to solve problems in Africa. You are using data to build the next Jumia in Africa, or you're using data to become the first or the most intelligent Black professional in one big company in whichever part of the world where you're positioned. Yeah. Now look at that and look at the cost to get there. It shouldn't be something we can put a value to. But then at Analytics, we believe there is that passion that comes from on your own end to be able to get to that point. So having said that, I'll just show you there is the cost to actually getting this training. And to be honest, like I said, don't look at the cost itself, but look at what it is you would get from it in terms of the 4 months program, but then what your life would look like as a seasoned professional after this training program. So the cost for this data analytics itself is $750. But for those who are on this call, the first 20 people who are able to make the payment at $600, you can make your first payment at $450 and then the second payment at $150. The second payment can come 1 month into the training program. But right now on this call, to be among the first 20, you can secure your payment quickly with $450. If you click on this link here, it's going to take you to the payment link where you can pay depending on where you are. If you're in the UK, it's going to show you in pounds. If you're in US or Canada, it's going to show you in dollars. If you're in Nigeria, it's going to show you in Naira. So take advantage of this quickly and make your payment. And once you make your payment, then you can come to upload your payment details. That way you are able to secure your spots for the next cohort, which is starting on the 2nd of March. So I'm going to just go through this link, like I said, to show you what it looks like to use this link. So yeah, you can, once you click on that link, you come to the enrollment center here, where you can click on this to get the brochures, or you scroll down to the program you actually want to pay for, data analytics, for instance. So like I said, depending on where you are, that's what is going to show you on your, that's what is going to show you on your screen. So I'm presently in Nigeria. Yeah, so it shows me the price here. So I can click on this to reserve a seat. So you can pay a minimum of $400 to secure your discount if you're in Nigeria. But then if you're in the UK or US, you get in pounds or in dollars. And then you fill in your information, your name, your email address. Then you fill in your phone number also. And then you can go ahead to make payments with your card. Yeah. If you have any difficulties making payments, please reach out to any of my colleagues on the call, and they will be happy to help you through. So like I said, there is no cost to educating yourself. Yeah. They said if you think education is expensive, then maybe you should try it. And aside that, this is something that you're going to thank yourself in a couple of years that you made this decision. I met, there was one of our alumni that came on this call. He said he actually asked for someone to a loan to make payment for this course. And it's a decision, he thanked God that I was able to make that decision, meaning collecting money from someone to pay, because now he's earning in 6 figures as a data analyst. So imagine what your life would be like in the next few years, being a data analyst, working for a top brand in any part of the world. And the good thing about all of this is why we put this, to spread this net wide enough for anybody. A data analyst in Nigeria is a data analyst in Canada, it's a data analyst in the UK. Unlike medicine, for instance, sorry to say, if you're a medical doctor in Nigeria, if you get to the UK, you probably need to take some training or some courses. Same thing as law. Law is even peculiar to location. Yeah, but if you're a data analyst in Nigeria, you can work anywhere. That's the sweet thing about tech. So whatever talent you learn, whatever you've seen on Excel that Mohammed has shown you so far in Nigeria, the same thing you see in Canada, same thing you see in Ireland, same thing you see in Australia. Yeah. So whatever you're learning, it's a global talent that you can apply and use at any point in the world. So like I said, the discount is for the first 20 people. And I would like for you to, right now, I'm tracking how many people are making payments to be able to. So once I get the first 20, I'm going to cut off this discount. Then you might have to pay $750 to join the next cohort. At the same time, if you're not sure of how to make these payments, just reach out to one of my colleagues on the call and they'll be glad to help you. Again, I'll share more testimonials of people there is one person in particular that I'm trying to get their testimonial. Okay. This is the person I was talking about. She's a care worker in Canada, and then she were able to help her transition to become a business analyst. And for person getting a job as a first time as a business analyst, she had to lead a team of two. Two people are reporting to her. Imagine for a first job as a business analyst in Canada. Let me check if I can access the video quickly so you can hear directly from her. Okay.
Are you a STEM professional and are looking to apply for U.S. permanent residency? Then stay tuned, because today I'm going to be discussing an exciting option for certain professionals in the STEM field.
So we have an array of
Hi guys.
Okay. We have an array of testimonials here. Let me just go deep into one.
Business analyst jobs are exploding in popularity thanks to the unique skill set that analysts.
A few stories that should inspire you to become a tech professional also. Let me just go through one more video, and then so you can come to our YouTube channel also by yourself. Look at a bunch of testimonials we have there. I'm trying to get one from the lady I mentioned herself. Okay.
Hi, my name is Maria Quadrado, and I'm excited to share with you my exciting journey in the world of data analytics through Tenalytics. Now, when I first decided to embark on this journey, my goal was clear. I wanted to solidify my understanding of data analytics, transition seamlessly into the tech industry, as well as secure a position that would allow me to work remotely. First off, the training at Tenalytics covered a comprehensive range of skills, such as Excel, SQL, Tableau, Python, and the program was so well structured. The instructors were well knowledgeable, and not just knowledgeable, they were incredibly supportive. However, what set apart Tenalytics is not just the technical training. There was a strong emphasis on developing soft skills. And a key element that is often overlooked in the data analytics field is the soft skills area, because these are needed in the place of work. From effective communication to problem solving, the program recognized the importance of a well-rounded skill set. Now, through various workshops and practical sessions and exercises, I was able to hone my abilities to articulate complex findings in a simple manner and collaborate effectively with cross-functional teams. So that was very key for me. It was a really rich experience. Now, these skills I found were just as vital as technical skills in the real world scenario. Let me share the most exciting part, the outcome of this journey. My overall experience with Tenalytics has been nothing short of amazing. The training not only met and exceeded my expectations, the well-rounded curriculum coupled with hands-on experience, projects, provided me with that coverage, that's confidence to take on real world challenges. So, to conclude, my experience with Tenalytics has been nothing short of transformative. The skills that I've acquired, both technical and soft skills, have not only made me proficient in the data analytics field, but also opened doors to new and exciting opportunities. So if you're considering a career in data analytics, I highly recommend Tenalytics for a comprehensive and enriching learning experience.
All right, so like I said, just go to our YouTube channel, see testimonials there. Yeah, a bunch of students. So we try to get testimonials every day from students who are getting jobs and then doing well for themselves as data analysts, as business analysts, data engineers, data scientists. So I was actually looking for this video itself to play. But then you can always, when you get this slide, you can listen to all of these people yourself. So right now, I can confirm that we've had 3 people join the program already. So we have 17 more to go to take advantage of this discount before it runs out. So this is the lady I was talking about, Sonia. Just by the LinkedIn optimization I talked about, she was actually reached out to by a recruiter. So these are some of the things that you wouldn't actually get if you were doing your self-learning on your own, or if you were doing training with some other training center. So we help you. We take all of these things seriously, because those are part of the things that actually get you ready for a job. So based off the LinkedIn optimization, we've been able to help her through. A recruiter actually reached out to her on LinkedIn, and then she is now an HR analyst in the UK. A lot more success stories. Yeah, Olupemi, a business now in Law Depot in Canada. This is someone I said he reached out to us. He knew he was leaving Nigeria, going to Canada. He didn't want to go there to do any menial job. He had to learn a tech skill and reached out to us. We gave him the training he needed, and on getting there within 2 months, he landed a job as a business data analyst. Yeah. Tony also, like I said, a business benefits analyst with NHS. She got a full visa sponsorship after a month of training. Yeah. A lot more testimonials there, to be honest. Screenshots of text messaging and chats with some of these guys, and you'll be really marveled at how much lives have been able to impact. And also, I must mention this: if you're on this call and you know that this is something that would be useful to someone you know, please do well to share with them. Do well to invite them to a webinar. I'm sorry, it's a masterclass like this, or even tell them to join a common board. If you know someone who is traveling or someone who's already in diaspora, it's something that they are going to thank you for, to be honest. We need a lot more people of the Black community in tech. Presently, over 50% of the jobs for the tech jobs that are owned by immigrants. Let me take that again. For all the tech jobs in Canada, yeah, that immigrants are taking, 50% of it are taken by Indians. Just a miserly 5% is what Nigerians are taking. Yeah, compared to the number of people that are there. People go there to do menial jobs. No, you shouldn't. You can actually do a tech, get into tech, and get and get to tech. You might be like, where do I start from? Like I said, the internet is like a wide ocean. There are a lot of things to do, a lot of places to go. But then with some mentorship, with some structured approach to learning, you can actually be laser focused on what you want to do, and then get what you want. I was going to talk about Whitman. Yeah, Whitman landed a full-time job with NHS UK as a business intelligence officer after training. Why I would emphasize on Whitman's story is the fact that Whitman did not attend a class like this. His brother did. And then his brother thought, oh, my brother is in the UK. He can actually benefit from this. And trust me, the guy landed a job just after a few months of training with us. That's why I mentioned the other time that in case you know people in the diaspora, or people in Nigeria looking to travel, or people here in Nigeria who want to transition into tech, please do well to let them know about it. Yeah, we need to get as many people in the Black community into tech. Yeah, because it's something that's going to help all of us. Let me just end by putting this analogy. There is the Industrial Revolution, yeah, that the whole world went through at some point after the World War. Then we had the Industrial Revolution, that's the industrial age, yeah, where industries were booming and things were being produced in mass. Then we had the Information Age, where we had the internet, and now we are moving already into the Knowledge Age. Knowledge Age is the age of the AI and the likes. Yeah, I believe Africa missed out in the industrial era. Yeah, the Information Age, the internet age, we are lucky to be a part of it, but then we have not even optimized. We are just still scratching a bit. But then with the Knowledge Age, I believe it's a leveler. Imagine if you were a data analyst 2, 3, 5 years ago. There's nothing like ChatGPT to help you optimize your work, to make you make things better. Now, Africans have the chance, have the opportunity to be able to leverage the knowledge era, yeah, and be able to level up on the industrial area by using that information era as a balance. Yeah, that's a very great opportunity for the African community, wherever you are in the world, or you're thinking to build or be a part of those who will build the future of Africa. This is actually a good time to be alive, to be honest. That's all I would say. A good time to be alive. Jump into tech. You have the AI that's helping to leverage things. So whatever it is the people in the West did in the industrial era before they moved to the information era, yeah, with the AI that we have now, we can be able to move a lot faster. So we need a lot more people in tech. We need a lot more people who are passionate about the future of Africa. We need a lot more people who are passionate about the future of the black race. And then doing all of this by yourself can be a bit daunting. So you need training institutes like this that could help you, hold you by the hand, and help you get that job to be able to do well for yourself, for your family. Then you can now extend that hand to as many people as possible. Starting with like body mentorship sessions that I mentioned, where some of those who have gone through our programs and out, they come back and help potential students like you to get their own first job also. So that way we are pulling as many of us as possible into the tech ecosystem. I think that's one thing the Indians do very well. I think it's about time Africans begin to do the same also. So the co-founders of Analytics have done it, moved into tech. I have done it. So we thought, let's put up a program and help as many people into it. And for the people we have been helping into the tech ecosystem, they're also doing well to give back and also coming as mentors to help as many people as possible. So let's put ourselves into the tech ecosystem, and we can be assured of a bright and unique future, because there's something unique about the blacklists. A lot more success stories there. Once you get this an email sharing this slide, you can go through a lot of them by yourself. Also, some people will ask, what about people that are based there in Nigeria? Yes, you can actually get a tech job from anywhere around the world in Nigeria. We'll show you how to navigate the market and look at the right places. I'm saying this because of this gentleman here, Abdul Rashid. He's in Nigeria, he's in Abuja at the moment. He's a data analyst, he's working for a US firm, and he got his job after training with us also. So it doesn't really matter where you are across the globe. You can actually you're a global talent as a data analyst. Your Excel file, your Excel program here is the same as Excel in Australia, same Excel in China. Yeah. So you can actually get a job from anywhere and work remotely. We also have people who have been able to transition here in Nigeria, and then they're able to level up their place of work and all of that. So most of our participants work in some of these companies that you see here. I'm sure these are very, very, they are high premium brands, and brands are easily recognizable, brands that you are familiar with. So do take advantage of it. Let me just go straight back to the payment slide again. So you can, okay, now I have 5 people already made payment. So I have 15 more to go. So I want you to take advantage now and make your payments quickly so that you can take advantage of the discount. Once the discount is fully taken off, I'm sorry, I might have to, the prices will have to switch back to 750. But as of now, this moment, I have 5 people who have taken it at 600. So if you can't pay the whole 600, just make the first payment of 450, depending on where you are. If you're in UK, make the first payment of 375, and then you can secure your spot, and then you can talk about how you make the rest of the payment later on. So thank you guys. I believe I've taken a lot of your time. I intended to use about 10 minutes. I think I've done far more than that. So take advantage of this. Use the link here. If you need to reach out to anybody on the team, then you can do that to ask more questions in terms of helping you to upload your payments or helping you secure your discount. For people in Nigeria, I believe it's a bit late now. So you can do this quickly before you set into the new week. This is about a good time for you to take advantage of this. And imagine if you take this decision or not, in the next 5 years, you'll be 5 years older. And in the next 5 years, you'll be a senior data analyst, or you'll be 5 years and you are not any analyst. Yeah. So it's a decision that you just have to think about and make. And trust me, it's a decision that you can never regret. And as a data analyst, you are always useful because data is the new oil and data is everywhere. If you were formerly in real estate, you can be a real estate data analyst. I have a background in marketing. Now I'm a marketing data analyst. If you're in healthcare, you can be an healthcare data analyst. If you're in accounting, you could be a financial analyst. If you're in HR, you're an HR data analyst. So there is a lot And again, with the growth of the internet, now we have 5G, a lot of data is moving around. We need people who can analyze data and make sense out of them. So this is a good time to be alive, to be honest. This is a good opportunity to jump on. This is something that's easy amongst all tech, all the career paths in the technical system. This is probably the easiest that you can start with. So take advantage of this discount once again, and then you'll be glad you did. Okay, so if you have any questions or you have any concerns, please raise. You can use the raise hand icon, and I'll be glad to answer your questions. If there are questions that Mohammed can answer, we would also be glad to do the same. So just use the raise hand icon, and I'll take maybe like 2-3 questions before we call it a day. If you have any questions or any comments, and again, you can reach out on our social media channels or on WhatsApp. So any of these lines, you can chat us up or send an email, and someone will be there to answer your questions. So please use the raise hand icon if you have any questions, or you can just put them in the chat box, and then I'll be glad to answer your question. So any questions? If you have any issues making payments, let me know. I'll be glad to help you out. Yeah. Okay, so if there are no questions, then I think we'll just call it a day then. Please, like I said, make sure you take advantage of discounts. Once I have 20 people, the others would have to pay the full price. The full amount that we have on the screen. If you need any information, please do not hesitate to reach out, and someone on the team will be glad to answer your questions and requests. Mohammed, do you have any last words, any comments?
All right, fantastic one. So thank you very much for that. So like Olawale has said, a lot of people come back and they tell us that, look, I'm ready to pay now. And at that time, the discounted slots are gone, and then they have to, make the full payments. All right. So yeah, somebody said, "Oh, hi, I paid yesterday. How do I know I had the discount?" So just reach out to you. You definitely have the discount because the discount is currently running. That is let's see. Okay, that's Ugochukwu. So just send us a message. All right, just send us a message to the analytics inquiries. And then you definitely know if you are eligible, but I can guarantee you that you are eligible for the payments. All right. We also have sessions on Tuesdays. All right. So you have more questions that you want to ask. That particular session is a one-on-one session that you get to ask your questions. All right. You'd ask any questions that you have, with regards to any of our programs, including data analytics. All right. So cheers, guys. Take advantage of the discounts, and let's help you, get into the tech space. All right. Cheers.
All right, thank you very much, Mohammed. So guys, like I said, take advantage of the discount, and this is a decision you'll be glad. All right, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and just type in Analytics, and then we'll be glad to answer your questions. So this is where we draw the curtain. Have a good night, have a good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Depending on where you're joining from, and God bless. Cheers.